see this here. Today's topic here is about aligning emotional expense or eliminating it by aligning yourself. So the Flex framework, FLEX, and E is eliminate emotional expense. And as you can tell, I like alliteration. I like when we stack up those consonants or vowels. Anyhow, so eliminating emotional expense is really about being able to identify emotional expense. And maybe you've heard the saying, what you resist persists. And that's a psychotherapy model that gets people to understand that it's the baggage that we keep pushing to the background that really has, it flares up. It's like an infection that doesn't get treated. And so under stress, those things come to the forefront. And so I think it's a great model. It's been helpful to me to experience, to be aware of what is happening with me emotionally. And this is also true when it comes to getting things done to the Flex framework. We want to make sure that the emotional expense that happens, it happens because things are running in the background that we're not dialed into, and we actually in order to push that away, we actually end up giving it a power, as they say. So we give it kind of it runs in the background. We're not addressing it. It's taking its effect. It's having impact, and it's kind of it's like the little foxes spoil the vines. It's these little troublemakers that are making trouble in our lives, and that in this idea, it weighs on us. It pulls us away. It causes us to be distressed. Anyhow, so what kind of things are we talking about? Well, first of all, what's the emotional cost? We're big into getting rid of those things that drain us and focus on those things that energize us. And one of the things that drain us is this emotional expense that running in the background. But so here's a little exercise. Think back over the last week. Where did your energy leak? What situations or tasks pulled more energy bandwidth more than they deserve? So in other words, they took a great toll. Think about avoidance, things that we avoided. Every time we avoid something, there's like a cost to it. And we, again, back to this idea of what we resist persists. So these things are happening, and we can't trick ourselves. It's like setting your clock ahead 5 minutes so you're never late. Might work the first morning, but pretty soon you adapt, right? And we don't want that. So what we resist persists. What runs in the background, we're consciously or subconsciously aware of it. It creates, think of the things that create confusion, conflict, pressure, maybe perfectionism. So think of it this way. Emotional expense isn't about the task. It's the story, the tension, or the uncertainty around the task. Okay? So those are the things that we want to be aware of. And, awareness is kind of like the first step to fixing it. So emotional expense equals the hidden tax on your attention. It often appears as resistance, rumination, dread's a big one for me, or paralysis. Okay, so dread, most emotional expense comes from ambiguity. In other words, I don't know what to do next. And that's that tax. There's a tax on that. There are also the area of identity pressure. I'm worried about what people will think of me. Okay. So I don't want to fail. What happened, and flow is the opposite of that, right? You're not self-criticizing, you're just not self-judging, you're just doing that thing. Okay, so flow, emotional expense, they're like the opposite sides of the same coin. And then finally, overthinking. This is often uh, driven by perfectionism. So I got to get this right, and I got to get that right, and I got to do this thing. And flow isn't anything like that, right? Flow is, oh my gosh, look at this cool thing that's emerging as I move through this task. And there's an excitement about it because it's, in some ways, flow is an adventure. And adventures are, either they're scary as hell, which can happen, or they're super fun and exciting. So as you're looking at your day, first thing you want to name the friction. What's prohibiting me from moving forward? What am I ruminating on? What's running in the background? What am I afraid of? And so we name it. It's fear, confusion, avoidance, uncertainty. I have a ton of uncertainty. I'm in the middle of launching this product. There's these hurdles that I need to go through that I have like no idea how to do. I'm going to be pushing something into the app stores, two of them. And again, a little tip here: I only have to worry about one at a time because I can't do them both at the same time. So you take the second one, you try to uh, outsource it to background processes, but not rumination, not concern, not fear, not avoidance, not uncertainty. It's like that. I'm going to get that when I get it. I'm going to get to it, and it's going to work just like this one. So, by the way, think of math phobia. Math phobia is this idea that I don't know. I know that I'm going to get there, and I'm not going to know how to do it. And we have this. I had this good friend, and he was so like he saw some of the things I did, and instead of being curious, he was afraid. He's like, not even afraid. It was self-doubt. It's like, I could never do that. It's like, well, I couldn't do it either before I could do it, right? And so that sort of ability to accept the fact that I'm going to be able to figure it out is really key. I ran across a little hurdle maybe 5 years ago. Well, it was as I was approaching 60. Um, I kind of gave up on learning new things. By the way, after that, I actually learned Python, a whole new programming language, and how to do it and how it worked with AI. It's very cool. And by the way, now I wouldn't even need to know Python because AI coding is so powerful. But that attitude is what really got. It's like, Dan, you're letting your fears of uncertainty, your fears of your own capability, determine what you're going to try and what you're going to venture into. Don't do that. Okay, um, so AI handles the complexity and you handle the clarity. And that's the partnership that we're going for, right? So for coding, I don't need to know how to code. I need to know what I want to accomplish with the code. And that is the process I'm in. And it is so powerful. You won't even believe it. Once you get clarity about what you want to do, and of course, that clarity can grow. You're going to get clarity about X, and then you get clarity of X plus 1 and X plus 2 and, a little move down the road. But the clarity is what, in the AI age, don't think of AI as like a thing. Think of it as a resource. And it actually is closest to like a low-level resource in your organization, uh, low-level developer, mid-level developer now, an administrative assistant, an office manager. And it's like, I just need to know what to do, and I'm going to hand it off to these people, in this case, AI though. And it's so powerful. Okay. So that's your partnership. Think of it as a partnership. I'm going to partner with AI. AI is going to do the work. I'm going to provide the clarity and do that. So moving forward, what's the one emotional expense task or situation you can simplify this week? Okay. So here's a little guide to choosing a task that I keep avoiding, a task I need to, I'm sorry, a message I need to send, a conversation I'm hesitant to initiate. It could be personal, by the way. That's running in the background, right? It's not just work. Our whole lives, we're not like two people. We're not like a work person or a personal person. That would make us a schizophrenic, split personality. We're one person and we have arenas, but they overlap because we're one person. A process that feels heavier than it should. Math phobia. It's the same thing, right? Oh, I got a math test. Oh no, it's a math test. It's like you're gonna do how well you're gonna do on it. There's no reason to get uh, uptight about it. And that's maturity, right? But we still do it. We still act the same way we did when we were kids. I'm sure everybody experiences this. It's the dread. For me, dread is it works in the back. I'm not aware that I'm dreading until I'm aware that I'm dreading, and then I realize all the emotional expense I paid for that dread. Okay, so here's a few questions for you to think about. What pattern do I notice in my emotional expense? Is it perfection? Is it pressure? Is it avoidance? Is it overcaring? Is it dread? Um, anyhow, where does my emotional expense, what's that problem? And because we tend to express these things the same way, those are really the negative sides of our personality. So, a person who worries about what people think they're always doing that. If someone who worries about performing, it's like, I want to be awesome at what I do. They're always worrying about that. Dread. So, for me, I would definitely say, um, dread of the unknown, a little bit of perfectionism, not very much, as you can tell from this video. It's very spontaneous. Because, so if you say, oh gosh, people say, oh, you're so good at, you're so comfortable. I don't worry too much about what people think. Gets me into trouble sometimes. Anyhow, but I'm very conscientious though. So it's like, I want to do a good job. I want to do awesome things. I have a bit of, so there's some performing, I want success. So, and I do, and then all the uncertainty is definitely my biggest thing. And AI helps with that. So, by the way, if you're like me and you have uncertainty, the way I get certainty, because I'm a verbal processor, is to talk and to work it out and to think it through. And that provides this clarity. And so, AI is perfect for that. It's like, it's a little encouraging because it's sycophantic. And I'm sure you've read about that. And, but it's clarifying, and you can actually say, hey, I'm trying to clarify this idea. Here's some of the things that I'm looking at. And as you go through it, it's like, oh, I realize it's not this. And then you write that down. Oh, I realize it's not this. It's actually this, and ChatGPT will be like, oh, that's so great that it'll, it'll encourage you. And that sometimes we need that. So let's wrap it up. Emotional expense is the enemy of flow. When you remove friction, your natural ability comes forward. So this week, reduce emotional costs and watch how much bandwidth you get back. That's our talk. 15 minutes. So you're going to be out of here in 15 minutes. Get on with your week. I'm just going to say something. There's like cognitive emotional expense, the stuff that we're aware of, that we're actually worrying about and stuff like that. There's subconscious emotional expense. We want to get those to the forefront. Um, uh, if you're like me, those, they're going to show up. The avoidance, a big one. It's like, I don't want to do that. Or scroll. And when you catch yourself scrolling, that, doom scrolling, as they call it, that is an indicator that you're trying to escape. Okay. Or, and there's other escapes, and if you're doing those things, you're escaping. And the key is, what am I trying to escape? What am I trying to suppress? What don't I want to deal with? Those are subconscious expenses, emotional expenses. Eh, I hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for being part of the Flex framework. Remember, as we say, you are the architect. Flex is the blueprint. The lab is your team support. So go ahead. If you found something really valuable or you want to share something in the comments, please do it. Let's go. It's going to be a great week. Anyhow, talk to you later. Bye-bye.